Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Always Bet on Yourself pod. I hope you've all had a wonderful couple of weeks. I am definitely not enjoying this one episode every 2 weeks, so I'm definitely going back to once a week. I think I got in my head a little bit too much. I was like, oh my gosh, do I have something to talk about? I've always got something to talk about, so I just need to let that just go away. So all is well. I'm excited to give you an update on life and what's been happening lately. I've finally figured out what I want to do next in terms of working, which is like super exciting. I was getting a bit worried there. I was like, oh shit, like how am I gonna, like, is it gonna come to me? Am I gonna know? Or like I was just a bit unsure. But I sort of just decided to enjoy what I'm doing at the moment, which is just chilling. And I had sort of an epiphany and I was like, this is something that's going to make you feel good, and, you know, why not pursue it? Life's too short. So I think I want to get into, I am going to get into, I'd like to be an enrolled nurse and work with the elderly. I think that would be really fulfilling. When I was young, when I was 18, I worked in a care home in England, and it was one of the best jobs that I've ever had. One of the most fulfilling jobs. I was in the kitchen. I wasn't, handling the elderly, but just having those daily interactions and getting to know everyone, it's like caring for children. I would imagine. I don't have children. But, you just have a level of empathy and compassion and patience. They've lived a life, and they're at the end of their years, and they're in a place where they're not as mobile anymore, and that they need that extra help. And to be able to provide that for people is just... it's a good feeling. And this is something that I've wanted to be able to give something outside of myself, like give back in some way. I'm sick of just, I love the work that I love the people that I was working with prior in my jobs. I love them all, and they were just like the best people. If I could build a community of people where I get to, we could all work together and just have the best time, because we all just like mold so well, I would do that. But that's not the case. So the job wasn't giving me what I needed. And I think just to be able to, give back and not think about myself as much. I think so much of what we do is just us, and what we're, it's internal. It's me all the time. And I don't want to think about me. I want to think about someone else. And it also is that thing of like, when you're with someone that can't do as much, you just have so much more appreciation for your circumstances in your life. Like, I try to do that anyway, and I talk about that a lot on this podcast, but just being with someone that can't do the things that they used to do, or they're very deeply introspective and, talk about what they wish they did, or the life that they lived and how exciting it was and how they loved and how they learned, and all of those things, I think would just be, that fuels my soul. That makes me want to be in that industry. And yeah, it makes me super, super excited for what's to come and to do that. So yes, that is what I'm planning on doing. And look, I might do this course and it might change. I might actually go into like something else, but I feel like in that healthcare realm is where I want to be. And I also feel like I've always had that inside of me, being able to care for others and look after people. I will say that when my husband, Matthew, wasn't well, that role of nurse, I had to do. You have to just, you have to look after them. It's not like you have to, you don't want to, but it's just all that responsibility is there now. You can't leave your partner to fend for themselves. You've got medication and wound care, and there's chemo and radiation, and you have to step up and be that person that they need. And I know in that time when Matthew was so unwell, I know that I did that for him, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I did my best in that circumstance, and I looked after him to the best of my ability. And that is probably like the most emotionally taxing thing that I've ever done in my life. I don't think that gets spoken about enough. The care that a spouse or a partner gives or a mother or a father or a loved one gives to someone that is terminal or going through cancer. It is like, it's almost indescribable. It is really, really hard. You're thinking about their mental well-being as well as their physical well-being, as well as being tired yourself and others, and it's just an amalgamation of everything all at once. But looking back, I can say that I did a good job. It wasn't a job, I don't like saying that, but I can say that I did the best that I could under the circumstances at such a young age. And I think that I have had people tell me, you would actually be a great nurse. You are very, I guess I just have like sort of the temperament for it. I can, I'm trying to find the right words. I can, be calm and strong and empathetic. I'm very good at reading people in situations, and personalities. So I guess I'm just good in that sense. So I think that this will be good for me to be able to do and to give back. And I've even thought about, quite possibly doing palliative care. I know that seems like a bit much given everything that's happened in life, but we'll see. It could quite possibly be a path for me. But yes, I'm very excited for what's to come and what's going to come out of this, honestly. And it makes me feel good knowing that I have some sort of direction. And I feel like we all need some kind of direction in life. We can't just wander around aimlessly. But I will say, in this like interim time of trying to find or searching internally what I want to do, is there's been a level of guilt of what are people going to think of me now that I'm not working? Like, I don't know where that's come from. It's like we have just been so ingrained that we have to work 24/7, like work, success, all of that I'm just like, people are going to think I'm lazy and that I'm just, milling around or whatever. But like, who cares? It's nobody's business, number one. I'm sorry. Every time I get on here, I need to do some like vocal practicing or something because I turn into an old man. My coffee is not going to help, but I'm going to drink some anyway. Like there's this, and I don't like thinking about what other people think of me. And I do it, everyone does it, but I don't like that aspect because it's my journey, it's my path, and nobody else gets to tell me how to live or how to do whatever I want to do and how to come to my own conclusions. I'm also quite stubborn. So yeah, it's been a really interesting few months. It's been quiet, but I feel like so much has happened at the same time. And that's always the case for me, whether it's just externally and I'm doing things, or it's internally and I'm just like working through stuff. But yeah, no, it feels really, really good to have a direction. Yes, it feels really, really good to have a direction, and we'll see where that goes. And I feel like it's just going to lead on to so many other good things. There's this thing that I've been trying to be better at, and it's just trusting. This is very spiritual, but just trusting that things are just going to work out for me. And I know that life throws you stuff. Things happen, and it's not always perfect. I'm not under some crazy illusion that my life is just going to be perfect. There's going to be more sorrow and hurt and pain, etc., etc. But I'm also like, things are going to be okay, and they are okay, you know. I couldn't even imagine living in another country and falling in love and marrying a beautiful man we just living a beautiful life. Like, I never even thought that was in the cards for me. It just wasn't there. But I've always felt inside of me there was always going to be good things were going to happen. I've always had excitement and a love of life, which is quite interesting because I'm also like the most melancholy person I've ever known in my life. But yeah, I'm just trying to surrender a bit more to life. It's not always perfect. You don't always get what you want. There's this thing that I've been seeing a lot, and it's really irritating me. Lots of things irritate me, but I'm going to talk about it. It's this: I don't want to marry the wrong person and have kids with the wrong person. I kind of reject that wholeheartedly. First of all, me, my brother and sister, we didn't have a dad growing up, which is fine, happens for a lot of kids. But I still think we were a gift, or are gifts, into the world. Sometimes you are with someone and maybe they're not the perfect person, and children happen, and who are people to think that they get to live these perfect lives with their soulmates? And I'm not saying that you should just like get pregnant by anyone willy-nilly. I'm not saying that, but there's this sort of like this idea of like the perfect life. It's like, I'm not going to do this until I meet the perfect person, until I've got the perfect career and this and that and the other. And it's like, dull. Do you not understand that there are so many lessons and things that don't work out? Where like people have forgotten, it seems like people have forgotten that there are hardships, and those hardships are valuable. You have to take something out of those, and you will grow from that. Like, as you get older, you have to understand that you have an opportunity to turn those shitty moments into something. You can learn from them, and you really have to internalize those lessons. And sometimes it's going to happen again and again, and you're going to have to remind yourself, oh shit, like, okay, well, that's happened once and I have to go through it again, like, and really come to terms with those pains and have some sort of philosophy. Like, it's really odd, this thinking that life can just be perfect. Like, this whole I'd rather be single than and live my life and not have children and stuff. I don't get it. I think it's a selfish way of thinking, and I feel like it's sort of been pushed on to women. I can see it from afar. And I feel like back in my younger 20s, I was sort of that person that was sort of, you know, I don't need no man and whatever and all of that sort of shit. It's just when you get older, it's like, isn't it like everything's love? To be able to care for a little human, and then they're going to be an adult one day, and they're going to be a part of your life forever. Like, isn't that incredible? Like, to love something more than yourself is just incredible. We get to bear children, and if we're lucky enough, we get to have a partner that walks with us in this life and we get to do that together. Unfortunately, sometimes things dissolve and they don't work out, and that's fine. You know, you get to co-parent, or maybe the person isn't wonderful and you have to do that alone, but there's a strength that comes with that. And I've seen so many strong single men, women have to go through things on their own, you know. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Life is baffling. It is. And people's perspectives are interesting. Something that I am always fascinated by. Forever fascinated by. Now, for this course that I want to do, now this is the most stress. I've got to do a literacy and numeracy test. I'm not a no, first of all. And I get it, but no. I did not do well in school. The literacy's fine. The numeracy, the numbers, they said it was hard. They said the test is going to be hard, but then they also said like level 3 basic. And I'm like, so is it hard or is it not? Because do I need to go and buy a book and start practicing and start learning my times tables again? I'm about to fucking put all that shit up that they had in school around my house to practice. It's stressing me out. And you only get one go. Like, that's not fair. So that is going to be interesting. It's going to take me an hour, they said. So that it's going to probably take me 2. Just not a testy person. Like in school, I remember there would be a quiz or whatever it was. And it would take me so long to read the sentence. I can read, but I wouldn't understand it. And then I'd be looking around and everyone's writing. I'm like, you know what to write? Because I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm even, no idea. Just in another planet, on another planet. Just not my skill set. So, but I also don't want to underestimate myself. Underestimate. Oh my God. And I will probably be fine. But I might wait until my brother gets here, which is in a few hours, because he's quite good at numbers. He was quite good at maths, and then he can just help me. I'm also curious to know if anyone else has had a career change in their like 30s and just decided to do something completely different. Anything more fulfilling or just something that they're interested in. I'm really curious and to take that leap of faith as well, because sometimes it comes at a cost a lot of the time. You know, you've got to pay for these things, whether that's going back to uni or trying something new. I know a lot of people that have, transitioned into new things, and I always love, that they do that. Because sometimes, you meet people and they're scared to make a change. And I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? Honestly, failure is good sometimes. Sometimes. I also wanted to say, I don't know if I've said this before, but after losing Matt, all of the drive and the ideas of wanting to create something for myself and have success and all of those sorts of things, like, completely changed. That sort of motivated, wanting to strive for more, sort of just subsided. It's like that's not even there in me anymore. And also my capacity to do that has just changed. It's like everything was just, that doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't mean anything to you. Like, working my whole life to build something and earning loads of money just does nothing for me. Like, I can't I don't know. It's just, it's funny. Like, I just want to be, I just want to live a simple life. Like, and simple, just, you know, friends, family, travel. Like, I don't need any more than that. Love. The simple things really just fill me up completely. And that drive for more just isn't there anymore. And I've sort of felt a little bit of like guilt. Is it guilt about it, or that, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, maybe, you know, I think sometimes people feel like they're meant for more. And I used to feel that way. I did. I was like, you're meant for more, you know, you can do something amazing. And, you know, I have had people say, oh, you know, you could do so much. But sometimes I'm like, but, you know, for what? Anything that I do or feel like I want to do creatively, I want to do it for me. I don't want to do it for someone else. Everything that makes me a little bit happy, I like to share it, but I don't need to monetize that. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everything that you need to do needs to be made into something else. And sometimes it takes the fun out of it. You know, unless I'm a bloody Quentin Tarantino at bloody filmmaking, or a Scorsese, you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just for me and my extended loved ones. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a little bit lately. Speaking of like films, as always, my sister and I were on FaceTime the other day and we were going through like one of my boxes and it had loads of paperwork in it. And she found like a script that I had written maybe when I was 15, 16, 17, around that age. And it was like 30 pages of, maybe a little bit more, of like full dialogue, plot. And I was like, wow, I don't remember writing it. I know I used to write a bit and I would like make my friends perform and they'd have their characters, but really not much has changed. It's so interesting. Like, I've been doing that for such a long time and I still do it now. But yeah, it's interesting. I love that I'm like that. I also have like, you know, like little notes and stuff from friends and all of that. And I was thinking the decline in handwritten stuff is just so significant. Everything is texting and calling and, you know, digital these days. I adore getting like handwritten notes off of people. I keep them and I laminate them. Matt left me a little like cutout and he, I think it was I love you so much. And he just put it on like the coffee machine. So I'd wake up and see that little message, and he would write like little post-its and put it on the mirror in the bathroom. And I used to do stuff like that as well. Like, I adore those little things and I just like to keep them. And I just think they're so meaningful, and use them as a bookmark or just have them around. Something about it's just so personal. Yeah, I love little stuff like that. I am a romantic. I really, really am. And I didn't even realise it until later on in life. I'm living in a bloody Jane Austen novel or something or other, you know? Anyway, I am completely romantic. My little doggy is staring at me right now. She's in front of me outside, staring into my eyes. She's starting to get grey hair and it's making me sad. She got the grey earsies and the grey nose. She's so beautiful. I love her so much. Anyway, that is it from me, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I love all of the support. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful week and I will see you next week. Don't forget to always bet on yourself. Much love. Mwah.